Hello, this is Tim Law with Planet Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance You. Always remember your life, your goals, your dreams, your career are all essential. Continue to apply the combined wisdom of some of these interviews that we're doing with some of outstanding people, like my guest this evening. And also, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Planet Forward Coaching. I am very, very happy to have a very good friend of mine, a gentleman I liked the day I met him, fellow coach, competitive guy, and good friend, Coach Travis Martin of New Oxford, the Colonials. So welcome, Coach, and tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, and everything else.
Good evening. Thanks for having me, Tim. This is honestly an honor. I was talking to my wife earlier about this opportunity, and she was tickled that I was you invited me on, and she's excited to watch this and follow your channel. I think you're doing great things. But as Tim said, I have a story to tell. It goes hand in hand with my coaching and the way I do things, the way I treat people. And I'll be more than happy to share with you a little bit. So I have a rare genetic heart disorder. It's called ARVD or ARVDC, they call it now. It's pretty much a dysfunctional right ventricle. If you take it this way, when you exercise, when you play tennis, like I coach tennis with Tim, well, Tim and I coach against each other, we should say. When we play and we implement that, your heart becomes a muscle. So your heart is a muscle already, and it becomes stronger with physical fitness. So with my heart, it actually becomes fatty with physical fitness. So here I'm a phys ed teacher and a tennis coach, and I also coach wrestling. And I'm telling you guys, you got to work out. You got to work out. Where I stand is I can, and I go for walks. I do golf. I do have a good time. I try to do what I can to do, especially running around my two boys I have that are absolutely off the wall. That's enough exercise in itself. But I found out I think it's 17, 18 years ago. Seems like forever. My sister dropped down on the tennis court, almost passed away. She was playing a Division II tennis match up at New York. First season or opener, was indoors. She was all excited, her senior year. And all of a sudden she just collapsed. She wasn't feeling good. She actually got up. Coach said, no, you're done today. Thought she was dehydrated. Later on that evening, they took her to the hospital, and they just, all of a sudden, they made it back to the hometown hospital, and they were telling my dad to get out of the room because they were going to shock her. And this is a healthy, vibrant young lady who's playing Division II tennis, number one player. Mm-hmm. And my dad just didn't know what to do at that time. But going down the road, it is genetic. So they decide, hey, let's test your brother. He won't have it. He did an Ironman before. He did over 50 triathlons. There's no way he'd be 6 feet under the ground by now. So at that point, I was like, oh, okay, I probably don't have it. I actually passed absolutely no tests except for one. And believe it or not, it was the weirdest test to pass for what we have. And that was the stress test, which is exercise. I don't pass that anymore, but I used to. So that day was just one of the worst days of my life. And that's what changed a lot that very day. And what happened was there's two instances. So I went to the window just bawling. I'll admit it. I was a grown man, just completely thought my life was over. I went to the window. When I looked out, I remember that road very well because about a year exact to the day I ran the Baltimore Marathon. And I thought, man, that was a good memory. But then I was like, oh, I can't do that again. So then the biggest moment came in the elevator ride down to the car, still crying. And there was this kid, a little boy. He couldn't have been more than 3 years old. Literally had something coming out of his brain, screws. And you could tell he had some big procedure, and it wasn't going well. He looked at his mom and said, I love you, with the biggest smile on his face. And it's like, he didn't care. I mean, here's a kid who's going through so much at the age of 2 or 3, and I'm here, a grown man, and I got to do all this stuff. And all of a sudden it is what it is, and it really turned myself around. And the very next day, it's funny because I used to train with a doctor, and he's like, you're probably going to be a little depressed. If you need my help, let's talk. And we'll see what we can do. I said, I'm going to give this a try. I think I can do this. And from there, I just kind of start developing, Coach, and start getting, acclimated with my new life. I start slowing down, start being less stubborn about things, to start seeing life, and that's where my journey really began.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Well, is certainly, it's certainly a very much of a challenge when, like I say, you have your life kind of flipped upside down like that. And, I look at a little kid like that, and, and you and I philosophize about various things, coach, and just the idea that, that little guy, certainly sounds like he was like a guardian angel for you, putting things into perspective. As tough as yours was, you see somebody like this, little guy like that, just saying how much he loves his mother and everything. I mean, it had to be incredibly heartwarming, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially that big smile. And then I thought too, like I cannot not mention this is how my mom, dad, and sister just went through with her first. I mean,
Mhm.
she had to go through it first. Then my parents had to deal with it with another son. And they were devastated. They just didn't know what to do with the, two kids that were just athletes their whole life.
Right.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. And coach, tell us a little bit about the school you're at, what you're coaching. And, we have some very similar philosophies as far as coaching. We both focus on, the life lessons. As I've said on some of the other people I've talked to, 1 out of 8,000 guys will make the major leagues in baseball. And the odds are even less than that, let's say for the NBA. If the child is good enough to make the Olympics or the majors, awesome. But for the vast majority of people, the valuable things are really the life lessons. So, share some of those with us, please.
absolutely. And that's something Tim, you do extremely well. And I actually look up to. And it's incredible. And I like to tell people first, I'm going to start out saying it doesn't matter the age of the person. If you're want to be strong in a certain field, if they're a good young person or they're a middle-aged person or they're an older person, it doesn't matter. If they have the knowledge and they have the the positive programs, those are the people you want to surround yourself with.
Mhm.
And that's a person as a whole. You want to surround yourself by good people because your three best friends are the people that you're probably going to act like as a person. But going back to what Tim said, I am from New Oxford. I originally from Gettysburg, but I am now a New Oxford Colonial, true in heart. I've been a coach here for 16 years, both boys and girls tennis. We pretty much came from nothing, the program. It was just a team that people barely knew about to a pretty winnable program. A team that I like to say is people look out for now. They want to beat. And I like that because I used to want to have that as a coach. I actually wanted a program. I begged for a program that really came from nothing. Even kind of like Tim, some teams you might have had, like you really grew the programs. And because I think it's what you chose to do with it. It was just more than just winning. Although we do like to win. I know that. I've
Absolutely.
seen it. But
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
so much more than that in the long run. I mean, if I tell the kids, if you have a question 11 o'clock at night, it's just eating at you, or you need to talk to me. We need to talk this through. You need to understand that I'm here for you. We might not always see eye to eye, but someday you'll get it.
Mhm.
And someday you'll understand, wow, that guy actually, he might have been tough on us at times, but he really did care. And that's what I think is the most important thing.
Sure, sure. Yeah, certainly agree with that, coach. And what's interesting is, because I've coached and taught in 3 different states. I was up in New York for 20 years, upstate New York, at a place called Hancock, New York. Also had 3.5 years down in North Carolina, Greensboro, and then a good number of years here in York, PA, and really gotten lined up with Northeastern. Just a great school. We've got an awesome athletic director with Brian Stevens, which I think you've met him when you've been out and around a little bit. Our superintendent, Dr. Stacy Seidel, and the assistant superintendent, Dr. Randy. She is just, they're both these ladies are just incredible. And we just have great leadership. And as Brian Stevens says, the Northeastern is a special place, and I think New Oxford is for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the support staff I think we have, I think a lot of our coaches envy.
Mhm.
Because truly now tennis is not just one of those sports, even swimming or soccer, it's a sport, like, and people care about it evenly. Administration through our AD who does a superb job, just like yours. We're very lucky.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I have to make sure I add in our assistant superintendent, Dr. Randy Payne. I'm just stopped at Dr. Randy, but she's referred to that way. But she's outstanding. And Coach, what are some of the key life lessons that you've had and shown that you've seen come through as far as you and your teams are concerned?
I think to get uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Get uncomfortable. If, in my opinion, and I hated this as a kid, and even like as a young adult, but I realized over time is if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
Mhm.
You're not learning. You're not willing to get better. You're not willing to make changes. Maybe an old coaching style. Like I have different coaching style than I did when I started 16
Sure.
years. No. So growing, being willing to make that change, be a change, to me is huge. I also, like I said, surround yourself by good people. Also try to get your athletes to surround themselves by good people. Try to really get them engaged. And that's what I said too. What's so great about sports is it brings people together.
Mhm.
They get to see each other in a hallway. I make a point, hey guys, wave at each other. When I see my kids, man, I light up. It's like my own kids, like, hey, how you doing today? You got to show them that it's not fake either. It's real. Like,
Right.
coach,
Sure.
you get excited. You care about them. And another thing I learned too is negative thinking. And the
Mhm.
more have negative mindset, mind thoughts, it can drag you down. I mean, there's still days today that you get in that mix. It's like, get out of it. It does
Mhm.
nothing for you. It does nothing good for anybody. It makes you powerless. And I think if the more positive you are as a person, that will. I actually think people kind of sometimes don't want positiveness in their life because it's
Mhm.
like, oh, that's different. But they truly need it. It's like structure. You need structure. You need good plans. So that's kind of where I'm currently at coaching now.
Mhm.
My mindset, what I get, I'm all about adversity,
Mhm.
working through challenges. Pretty much what your whole playing it for is all about. How can we make a change for our youth? How can we get them to know that they are accepted? There is a reason behind them to keep striving, to keep getting better. I mean, that's why I think what you're doing right now, I think it's going to take off. You have great future ahead of you with this.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
going
it's
to.
something certainly enjoying a great deal, and I get to interview wonderful people like yourself and everything, and any of the kid again, it's geared toward teens and young adults, and with a huge number of positive role models we have on here, they could absolutely. See, I'm a big believer that wisdom is. I mean, knowledge is important, but wisdom is more important than knowledge. And you brought up a good point when you said about the idea of being uncomfortable and that type of thing. It's the idea of getting out of our comfort zones. And it's the only way you can really grow is pushing and trying to do the very best you can every single day, and to try different things. And I don't believe in the saying is if at first you don't succeed, try again. I believe in, if at first you don't succeed, try again with experimentation. Don't keep beating against that same door or same wall. Go around, go under, go over something, and you will find a way. And the other thing you brought up as far as the positive attitude, and we're certainly on the same page with this, is that you know if you go around negative all the time, all you're doing is draining your own battery. Life is challenging enough, as we've known this past year with COVID.
Absolutely.
So just the idea that if we're in a scenario where we're just down and negative, like I say, we're just draining ourselves. It makes no sense at all.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom from an amazing guy.
I'll pay you later. I appreciate that, Coach. We go back a ways, and for the last few years, well, as I said, I met you the fall of 2015 when I first started coaching the girls team, and then the spring of 16. Because you coach both the guys and the girls at New Oxford, as I do in Northeastern. I always look forward, and our kids really, really like and respect, your kids. You had Casey Konjak and Kenan Belko, a number of great kids over there that ours really have gotten to know and really like. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely share a lot of stories back and forth now, which is great with our athletes, and
yeah,
we're trying to include them too, which is we're doing more than just our team. I think that's great.
absolutely. Well, Coach, this has been fantastic. Any last thoughts or ideas that you wanted to share here before we close
Yeah,
things up?
absolutely. And I do a lot of talks, and a big thing I just like to do, just close your eyes for a second, really just think about your favorite thing
Mhm,
in life. Just think about that. And then now you wake up and tomorrow you have it all going. All right. That happened to me.
mhm.
It's challenging, but
Sure.
it can work out. It can get better. There are so many things out there. I slowed down. I was supposed to slow down. I got to meet my wife and have two wonderful boys, and we're very happy.
Mhm.
I have a great group of friends. I have a great group of coaches. Guys, just you'll get through it. Okay. Just keep working. I don't care what the incident is, how small or little or big it is. Just keep striving. I promise you'll get there.
Mhm. Yeah, great advice, Coach. And anyway, please make sure you hang on, afterwards here and everything, and we'll chat, once we cut this off. For anybody watching this, please subscribe to my channel, Playing It Forward Coaching, and again, be able to see great people like Coach Travis Martin, my good buddy over there at New Oxford. We certainly have a lot of good camaraderie and laughs together, and appreciate you being on this evening, Coach. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you, Coach, too. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, we'll talk to you soon, my man.
Sounds good.